Leave it to her to write a chapter that only focuses on the enemy, and yet is still awesome. It's amazing that Hara has written a chapter that has no focus on the hero side character, and I am still thrilled by it. When I finished the chapter, I was really hyped for the next set of action with the newly introduced character. But I didn't realize that it didn't have anything to do with Chin. It's all around Zhao's focused chapter, a nicely written hype chapter with the use of the villain as the spotlight. Usually I get hyped for the next chapter when Chin's character, like Ohan for example, gets a shiny moment and build up an opening for many great possibilities. It's rare that a Zhao's character without its opposite gets me hyped. What's really amazing is the fact that Hara just introduced Gyou'un in the last chapter. I suddenly feel like I know him all so well in the matter of a chapter. That's a hell of an achievement to make me care about his character. That goes beyond than a typical enemy. Hara has managed to make me feel attracted to Gyou'un with one backstory that isn't there to show his achievement. It rather brings along the story of Rin Shoujo in his final days, making those characters who are associated with him impressive, let alone the dying general himself. It's surprisingly appealing to watch the story unfold from the moment Gyou'un steps in, and everyone is just amazed by his presence. This leaves a great opening to use a veteran or at least someone who knows the history of Rin Shoujo and his men to tell the young soldier about Gyou'un. It's like reading a bedtime story, only you feel terrified and hyped to see the upcoming future. Actually, that is similar. From there on, it's a compelling storytelling of how this one man can bring the fire that will wipe out Chin. The chapter does have plenty of reaction shots due to how many points that Gyou'un can bring in. In other words, how very convincing he is as a serious monster. To be honest, it is utilized well here because it does present him as an amazing general that you start to feel shaky for Chin's chance of winning. After a couple of backstory bits of Rin Shoujo, I start to buy into those amazing attributes. By the third reaction shot, I was following along with them, appalled by his presence. What exactly makes Gyou'un scary? Well, for starters, the design of the Ryon, an elite force under the direct command of him, already shows nearly a night and day difference. Keep in mind, it's not like the mountain tribe, whom we expect to be significantly different in every part. They're soldiers, but in a mercenary state that sends true intimidation aura. It's even crazier that they are only 2,000 men, yet you can already sense that they can take out 100,000 men. Gyou'un is deemed as the Phantasmal General of the Three Great Heavens. That title sounds pretty damn cool. I don't even know that was a word to begin with. It has a chilling ring to it. What amazes me is that his character was explored more than a strong guy heading over to wreck some Chin. In fact, I actually felt sympathy with the moment of when Rin Shoujo passed away. It shows you that he truly had a strong student-teacher love. He's not a robot character. He has a personality. I like the fact Hara continues to bring in characters that are more than a body bag for the good team to take him or her out. In a fraction of a chapter, I already like Gyou'un as a character. This chapter also helped to push Rin Shoujo as once incredible general. Even after his death, I'm still mesmerized by his accomplishment. What stunned me is how he had 10 generals under his command. That's freaking insane. That is like some Oki's level of greatness. Sadly, the 8 generals went their way to die by fighting the impossible victory, as the last 2 remain by Rin Shoujo's deathbed. Maybe those 8 were weak, but the sound of 10 generals in his command is remarkable. There's some really good tense atmosphere when it comes to Chogayou and Gyou'un's reunion. Ohan, perhaps the only mention in the entire chapter, was being praised by Chogayou, even calling him as someone who will surpass Ako eventually. That is seriously high praise. I like how Gyou'un doesn't necessarily underestimate Ohan, rather not thinking about his potential, and sees what they are about to accomplish today. That's a good way of thinking to keep your blood boiling. After this chapter, I felt connected with these two characters because of the conversation. They came off like old best friends and not some old partners that don't like each other that much. These two have genuine connection. If anything, this helped me to care more about Gyou'un. Before, I was thinking, yeah, he's a hype character that poses a threat and that's it, I suppose. Now I see him differently, with his raw emotion when he realized the fateful day is here. This chapter has strong and impressive visual that tells a compelling story. The reaction from those soldiers didn't feel filler, rather essential to the theme. They expressed the right tone as I begin to express the same way, just awestruck. The visual is well detailed with its strong emotional expressions. That close up to the eye shot really hits me with Gyou'un's reaction. It has a subtle vibe of tension. After a story of build-up and backstory of Gyou'un, his first devastating strike is bone-chilling great. The use of double page is well presented, and how easily I was awestruck by his strength. It has some weight in that one swing display. It said that Rinsojo's final message to his two generals was to live long, and the day of reckoning will appear for them to wipe out and fill the ground darker than any bloodbath before. I don't know how accurate his prediction is, but my god, do I feel worried. This is a very solid chapter that uses a backstory of Gyou'un to bring in the hype and chills. Ohan may have done great moments, but this one added fleet could change the entire landscape. Now it would be a great time to send Shin. Right? Right, also? Share your thoughts in the comment section. It looks like Ohan has 3 potential boss battles, unless Shin actually shows up. At least that's what I'm hoping. The guy has a glaive. It will be a fitting battle. It will be a good way to start the hype for Shin and his glaive. What do you think? Do you think Shin should actually show up in there and help out Ohan? Now that Shin's right ring has a disadvantage point, it's best to send some reinforcement, wouldn't you say? With the next chapter being the last chapter before a break, it will be a great cliffhanger to have Shin in action. That would be awesome. And that will do it for the review. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you like this and want more of this, subscribe to my channel, and my world will be yours to stay. Until next time, take care.